Yo, 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 what is going on? IK Familia. Special video today on Father's Day. Shout out to myself, for myself, by myself, without anyone else around. That's how we do it. Excited because we're going to be talking about some specialness on how to get your Lord level progressed as fast as humanly possible. We're going to tell you all the best tips and tricks on how to do this. And the important part, let's really start off with kind of what the end goal reason is. And there's really two in mind. The first is that, of course, as you increase your Lord level, you're going to be able to dive deeper into talents down the tree, which again is just a default. That's going to happen from you working on it, but it also gives you access to really important talents as you work yourself down the tree. Some of those talents, the milestone ones really, in my opinion, outside of building and then getting the gnome ones, right, where you go experience, you do the gold tier for plentiful, you'll get divine walker, right. Again, keep in mind, this is more of like a peaceful talent build that you would do for if you're just in a non-fighting or non-warring server, right. You're going to go leaps and bounds for academy tech, you'll do safe and sound for more troops, recruit or healing, it's really up to you. I just like training speed more because it allows for us to dive into another topic that we're going to touch on, which is a growth achievement, and then otherworldly helper, which reduces cooldown time for Hall of Immortal summons. We'll also touch on that a little bit later. And then you can do increases warehouse storage or protection capacity. Keep in mind, either of them will go to 25%, but if you're in a safe server or non-warring server, once again, my recommendation still is increasing storage because, again, just having more resources on hand is always going to be a benefit if something comes up or you're just constantly doing your 3 building queues, right? So if you've purchased the $5 head start, and then you're looking to take advantage of that. And then lastly, you're probably going to go Glorious Return for the double reward back, right? And that kind of fills out your development. And then, once you get higher, you can dive into military. We'll talk about that in another video. I just want to give a quick rundown there. Now, again, you're now going to be able to get up to 4 marches, right? You will have your 3rd march that unlocks at Lord level 15, and then you have your 4th march that unlocks at Lord level 30. Again, this is why 30 is very crucial to hit, not only in addition to being able to dive farther down the tech tree. Now, by having 4 marches, it will allow for you to essentially gather, right, 50%, or I guess technically it'd be 100% faster, because if you're just starting off with the 2. But then, also, when you have 4 marches gathering, level 7 RSS tiles, level 8 tiles eventually, right, it really is going to be a benefit for you, right? And we'll just take an example of that to show you what we mean. So when you dive farther into, and here's just a good example. When you start diving in further to the RSS zones, right, on a map, which here, let's just zoom out, we'll show you this real quick, right? You can see the zones here that are listed, right? You'll see at the bottom here you have your legend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 working in. Now, keep in mind, in the Forbidden Zone, you don't have resource tiles that spawn. So, again, RSS Zone 4, which is the lighter orange here, right, that encompasses 9 districts, with 3 of those being capitals. That's really where you're going to kind of be getting your bread and butter as far as resources go. So let's dive in, and let's see, okay, good. So here's a 7, here's an 8. Right, once you get to Lord level 30, you unlock 7. And that allows for you to then gather, and you can see how important it really is to hit this, right? Gathering speed is now 441k an hour, right? Plus, if you control it, you still get the 150. And then if you go to 8, 588, right? So 588 to 441, that's what, 117? Give or take, right? Plus, again, you'll still get but now you'll get a 200k. So keep in mind, as you go up in RSS tiles, especially if you control the district, the rate in which you gather is a lot faster. So that's why it's always good to try and gather in a controlled district. But again, this is the benefit it gives you when you can unlock that 4th troop march to start working for some of these higher level RSS tiles, right? So again, extremely important on why you want to boost your Lord level EXP to 30 as fast as possible. Now, let's dive into a little bit more of the nitty gritty on exactly how are you going to do this. So, let's start off with dailies, and then we'll go over to growth missions. So with dailies, right, the objective here is to try and hit your 100 chests every day, bare minimum. In addition to this, you want to take close look at every achievement that does Lord EXP. And that's because there's more achievements you can get that give you Lord EXP past you hitting your 100 daily chest, right? So let's just do a quick rundown. Let's go through the ones that are completed, and we'll just kind of go up, down. Or I guess down. So, 1 resource item, pretty easy to use. Collect 400,000 resources from your territory, pretty standard. gather 300 resources on the map, defeat 10 gnomes, heal, train, advance summon 1 time from Hall of Immortals. Again, you get the free daily, so that's pretty simple to do. And then we're going to scroll past those, and you'll see where it says buy items 5 times from the market. Again, pretty simple to do too as well. We'll also show you how this ties into growth mission. Summon 5 times in the Hall of Immortals. Pretty simple because you get the 5 free dailies from the Philosopher's Shards, plus the free advanced summon daily, right? So you have a total of 6 free summons you can do every 24 hours. This is pretty easy. Then the last one is you have complete 3 campaigns in Will of Time. You can do 3 quick raids, right? This is pretty effortless as well. But these are the ones that are going to give you your Lord EXP. These are the ones you want to focus on hitting daily, just all the time. Now, let's go over to growth mission. This is where it starts getting really interesting because these are the ones that you're really going to be able to, at least some of them, you're going to be able to manipulate. And we're going to show you, we did touch on this before, but this is going to be a more detailed breakdown on the Lord EXP video. So let's kind of start top down, right? Defeating 10 level 23 or higher gnomes. Now once you get to a certain gnome level, it will start asking you to defeat 10 of that gnome level or higher. Prior to that, you want to attack 1 gnome of each type. There are specific, and usually once you hit a new level, you'll get these you'll get these accolades as well, these growth missions. Now, some of the missions may show up, some of them may not, but you will get them. So if you attack a Trent, for example, and I'll show you this visually. So if you attack a Trent, a Bakhan, and a Roke at that next new level, you'll notice that you'll get a growth achievement for each one you attack at that new level. I don't know if it stops at a certain point, but at least up until now, it's happened for me at every level. So you always want to attack 1 of each because that'll give you a 1-time growth achievement, which again just goes towards your Lord EXP. Then, again, you want to do the defeat 10, so you want to make sure that you're getting this. Go and look through your growth missions, make sure you have defeat 10, right, for whatever the current level is that you haven't done. Do that so you can get to the highest level where you're currently attacking. Train 4.5 mil troops. Again, the elite troops, right, this is going to last for a while, but the important part here is that you are constantly training. The easy way to circumvent this, again, to manipulate it if you want to keep boosting, is once you get to a certain troop capacity, like you can see here, I'm 231 out of 390, right? What you do, pretty simple, you click on the barrack building, whichever one you want. Typically, you want to focus on the troop type buildings that you use the least, right? Which is arguably the ones you use the least in your primary march. You click train, then you'll go over here to the top right where it says dismiss. I usually do this in a scaling fashion where I'll kind of just dismiss 20%, right? 20 to 25% of troops at a time, and then I'll keep training, and then whenever I get full, I'll do the same thing again. That will allow for you to keep boosting this elite troops because, again, this is a big Lord EXP boost for you. Now, the next one here is going to be researching technologies. Now, this is pretty standard, right? And you're more or less going to go in somewhat of a simplified way. But if once you have your production pretty much cleared, right, where you're already set up, right, you're set up for the next speedy, which, right, these are the ones we really talk about, is you want to be set up for speedy because it increases building time, and you always want to try and set yourself up for the next rapid progress because that's for tech research, right? Then you can eventually work your way down. Now, once you're set up neatly for these ones, then what you could do, right, and of course you want to do veteran because it's battle experience, and then you also want to do the marching speed, right? These are all important, and you could even argue doing boosting speed consumption just because, again, it reduces the gold consumption. So those are pretty standard for what you would do. As far as for what I feel are really the main standouts that you would really be focusing on because they just give you the most amount of value that you can get. Marching AP consumption, working down in troops is another big one. Again, I still like veteran and then boosting consumption a little bit more than marching AP consumption. Of course, I still think it's good to go for. But the point here is that once you get your production set up for year 2, immortal set up for veteran and boost, you at least have superhuman. Even if you want to work on getting all the way down the tree to abundant supplies, that's fine. But how you can boost the research tech is you just go through each of these tabs and then you just research the shortest research time tech that you can. And then you just keep doing that back to back, right, until you hit a new level where you can then focus on, right, those 5 to 6 techs that we just mentioned. That will help you boost your research, your Industrial Revolution growth mission a lot faster. And again, you're going to get Lord EXP a lot faster from that as well. The next one here is advanced summons. Now, usually we always talk about just doing the 9 times pulls because we just feel it's always the most beneficial, really, right? You do 9 times, you get 10 for the price of 9. It's kind of a no-brainer. The only other way that you could manipulate this if you want would be to use your green gems on going to the shop. Now, some people like doing this. Other people like investing their green gems in VIP. Those, in my opinion, are still the 2 most prevalent as far as what you most likely should be focusing on. Depending, again, on, if you're spending or whatnot and other factors, right? This is just more from a free-to-play perspective. But you could go here to the shop, and if you scroll down, you'll see that there is Philosopher's Stones, right? It's 300 for 1. Obviously, I can't buy any. But if you have more than 300 gems, right, you could do, I think there's a little scale here where you can select more than 1. So if you want to add that up and purchase these in bulk, then you can. But this is something you could do if you wanted to boost that achievement, right? It also would help you because, again, you're still going to be getting more Philo Stones, so you're able to do more 9 pulls, which is still going to help for you getting more shards, utilizing the market, and then we'll talk about how that ties in here in a sec. Now, the very next one, which is market purchase. Buy items 3,000 times for the market. You can notice market purchase is probably the best growth achievement for giving you gold and also decent Lord EXP as well. You can see I'm at 2,900 now. I heard this stops at 5,000, so just keep that in mind. But still, to utilize this all the way up until that point is just going to allow for you to get there that much faster. Now, how can you go about manipulating market in a way where you can just constantly be doing pulls? Let me give you an example. I don't know how many I have here on hand. So this is what I would usually do. I'll go to my Alchemy Lab. I'll see who I have. Right, I don't think I'm using any of these people, maybe with the exception of Eboshi. But just for the sake of the video, we'll do it like this. So what you would do is you would go through and you would, and one way you can do it is you can just click on this tab, the lock button, and then you can just lock up whoever you want. I have all my epics locked that I have unlocked right now, right? So if I do the one-click place, you'll see none of them get selected. Good thing to do that. Usually you want to do that for your primary march, and then you want to do that for any of your secondary marches. I just have it saved for epics because I'm just saving everything so I can eventually max level. That's just me, right? You can choose how you want to do it. Then, after you dismantle all the immortals that you're not using, which for me, I always do the blues, greens, and purples, and then I'll do some epics here and there. Then what you do is you just go through, you just click, refresh, right click, click, and then click. I'll refresh again, and then I'll just come right back to the Alchemy Lab, and I'll just do the 1 tap. For this, I'll just get rid of everything, and then I'll come right back. Because for me, right, I am just searching, and for me, right, I'm just searching for epics, or I'm just searching for the specific immortals that I want. For the most part, at the moment, it really just is epics because I'm just focused on my primary march. So I'll get Spartacus, and I'll just keep doing this. This is just a rinse and wash repeat process. And as you keep doing this, right, and you collect the immortals that you're really looking for, it'll then make your job easier because as you select and you find immortals that you need, you'll keep those shards, of course. For all the other ones, you just keep dismantling and you just go back and you keep doing the same exact thing, right? So this is the best way for you to really boost your growth mission as fast as you possibly can. Now, let's work down to the next one. Upgrading Dragon, pretty standard. Upgrade your Immortal class to 12, pretty standard. Right, you can see here where it says Stone Gathering, you'll get some of these as well, gathered from a level 8 Stone Deposit. Right, and typically with these, it usually happens at each level, right, which is pretty standard. You're most likely going to be gathering these as well. Upgrading the Immortal class, again, this is standard because you have to wait sometimes until you get strong enough for certain well-timed stages, right? You might have to do certain pairings, like on 8-8, we talk about that a lot. But that pretty much gives you a comprehensive rundown about how you're going to be able to maximize your Lord EXP in as many of the ways that you can, along with what the actual benefits are and why it's important to try and boost this up as early as you possibly can for all of the advantages that it's going to give you. I think that probably covers it for me. Excuse me. on this video as far as everything that we've touched on. As usual, I hope you all enjoy the content. Please feel free to let me know what you guys think about the video. As far as your comments, any suggestions or feedback you have, you're more than welcome to leave, again, down in the comments below. That's it for me, and as usual, until next time, we'll catch y'all later. Peace!